All right, hello and welcome to Photo and Elective Photography. Basically, this class is going to be a little bit weird, a little different this semester, online. I think all of us can get used to that pretty quickly. Like I mentioned in my very long email that I sent last week, I have a lot of online teaching experience, and I feel really confident that we can have a great class. That doesn't mean it's any less weird. But I think one of the cool things with photography is we can actually do, unlike most of the studio art disciplines like painting or printmaking or ceramics, we can actually do a lot of the work outside of class. And, already photography kind of necessitates you working outside of class. And in fact, the in-person version, I usually only teach about an hour and a half to 2 hours of that 3 hour studio block because I need to give you time to basically go outside of the classroom, go shoot whatever you need to film or whatever you're trying to capture. So really, this class kind of works online a little bit better than some other classes. So this video is really simple. I'm just going to kind of go over the Blackboard. I'm going to go over a few other things like Flipgrid, which is sort of our main discussion tool that we're going to be using. Get used to talking to a camera because you're going to be doing it a lot this semester, especially if you're in other classes that I teach because we use Flipgrid in all of them. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing critiques, which are sort of your major grade points of the semester. Major projects are all, critiques. That's kind of the culminating thing. Those are all done through Flipgrid, okay? So let's walk through a couple different things, and let's just get started with Blackboard first. So here's the Blackboard page. You can see this is the welcome page. This is what it should take you to right away. If you don't see it, click home page over here on the side. And on the home page, we have welcome. There's a welcome video that'll be housed here. And then you have this little tutorial that shows you where our course content lives. This is just to double, triple check that everybody's on the same page for where our course content is. Some people get confused, especially those of you that aren't familiar with online courses. It can be a little bit tricky for your first class. But yeah, anyways, basically, on the left-hand side, you have different links that go to different parts of our Blackboard. We have the home page, announcements. I'll be sending out a lot of things through the announcements. By the way, just as a side note, this is a Blackboard shell that combines photo, which is like Art 3403, I think, and elective photography for non-majors. There's really no difference between the two classes. The only thing is that the grading is just a little bit different. Some of the outcomes are a little bit different. But overall, it is essentially the same class, and all of you will be participating together. So non-major students will be participating with photo students in critiques and things like that. Anyways, that all aside, and as you'll notice, pretty tangential. I sort of, get lost and sidetracked whenever I talk. So on the side, we have the home page, we have the announcements. That's where I'll send out announcements, calendar, where you can find things like due dates, etc. And then we have this orientation page. I'll go ahead and click that. The orientation page really is just, if you've never used an online learning platform before, like Blackboard, I would check this out. Otherwise, you're good to just skip it. We have the syllabus and schedule page, which has a copy of our syllabus sort of pasted in there, as well as a PDF copy. The formatting on Blackboard sucks, as most of you know. So I have this PDF copy, which looks like this and is properly formatted. I'll go through that syllabus right now. So let me make it a little bit bigger. So again, my name is Cameron Buckley. I don't know if I actually mentioned that at the start of this video. I've been here at Arkansas State for 4 years now, and I've taught photography for 3 years here. Basically, I have a kind of crazy story where I've lived all over the place. You'll learn about that on Flipgrid if you watch my Flipgrid video. And yeah, I teach photo. I also teach game design. In fact, I'm the director of the new game design degree program. If any of you are interested in games or video games or making board games, etc., reach out to me and I'm happy to put you into the right classes. But I teach the game design classes as well as photography and what's called new media, which is sort of like digital art. It's all kind of wrapped up into one. That's what my formal training is actually in. Photography was really something that in my undergrad, I was a film studies major, which means I shot film and photos and stuff. And then that developed in my graduate studies as well. So obviously our class times are online. My office hours are by appointment. I'm going to talk about how you actually get to those in just a second. You contact me right here with my email. All of you have my email. I'm pretty good about responding right away. I will really try to respond quickly, especially this semester. Here's some of the materials. I'm going to go through these a little bit more in depth in the next video. Sorry, I'm going to enunciate a little bit better. In the next video, I'll go over the required materials. But that includes a computer that has Photoshop on it. Photoshop's essential for the class. You won't need that for about a couple weeks, maybe 2 weeks. Really, there are alternatives. I'll talk about those a little bit later, but it would really be great if you had Photoshop on a computer. I can get you Adobe Creative Cloud for free if you need it. If you need it, you need to reach out to me, okay? Shoot me an email and say, hey, I need Adobe Creative Cloud, and then I think I have to get your student ID number and a few other things and send them, and then they can send you instructions on how to get Photoshop. But I can get you Photoshop for free. Alternatively, our classroom has Photoshop in the lab. All you need to do is make a free Adobe account, sign in, and you're good to go. The lab computers are open during our class time, and they're open nights and weekends. Okay, you need a working digital backup system, something to just keep track of your photos. You're going to be buying film, okay? So you don't need to worry about this now, and in fact, do not purchase this now. We're going to talk about it in a few weeks. But we are going to try to shoot black and white film in this class. I really, really value teaching and shooting analog photography. It's an incredible accomplishment if you can do it, and it feels great whenever you do. And it's this really fun sort of creative process where you actually, are photographing something and you have to kind of risk it if the photo came out or not, right? You don't get that instant gratification of a digital camera. So I really want to teach you analog film. I teach it in the in-person class. We have a darkroom on campus. I can teach you how to set up a darkroom in your house for basically like $30. I know some of you are overseas and that's just not going to be possible. That's totally fine. Understand. We'll figure it out. You need a 3-ring binder to house all of your film that you shoot. Again, don't worry about purchasing those right now. I will talk more about those in the coming weeks. You won't need them till October. Some optional materials. If you are not on campus, so if you are overseas, if you're in another state and you can't come to campus, you need to buy a camera or borrow a camera. It's not probably. You need to buy a camera or you need to borrow a camera from a friend. That's at least 8 megapixels. Now that is not hard to get because 8 megapixels is probably less than your phone. And it needs to have RAW shooting modes, meaning shoots camera RAW. It doesn't shoot, it can shoot more than JPEG. And I'll talk about that in another video. And it needs manual shooting modes. So, for example, something like a Ricoh GR3, which is sort of a hot new camera, would work for this class, even though it doesn't have an interchangeable lens. The lens is static. That's okay. But you really do need a DSLR or mirrorless camera. Okay, you also need to get a 35mm or 120 film camera. Now, I have some that you can check out. Same with the digital cameras, by the way. Again, I'm going to get into this a little bit more in depth in the next video. But those are necessary for the analog portion of the class. Course description, photographic concepts, historical precedents, aesthetics, equipment, techniques, and processes, both silver-based, okay, which means analog film, and black and white analog film in particular, and digital. Emphasis is placed on photography as applied to art and design. Let me clarify that. This is not a sort of photo workshop class that's teaching you how to use your camera super well. Now, are you going to learn how to use your camera super well? Yes. But this is a class about photography as an art form, okay? We're not shooting weddings, all right? Let me just clarify that. We're not shooting pet pictures, okay? We're not shooting graduation pics. Those things are great for money. Those are great as career options. I encourage you to pursue those. But this is a class where photography is being examined as an art form. You're going to do some intense reading. There's some intense sort of things you're going to be writing and thinking about. What makes a photograph important? Kind of the big question. You can think of this as like the big question for the whole semester. And there's a Flipgrid topic over this, in fact. What makes photography important today? What makes photography important today? In a world where literally we can shoot photos endlessly, right? And it's no big deal. I pull out my phone has a great camera, boom, I have a great picture. What does it mean to be a photographer? What does it mean to shoot photographs in that world? Okay? Think about that as we're going through this class. A couple of course outcomes. You're going to be able to compose still imagery using photographic techniques and tools, analyze existing photographic works through a historical and conceptual perspective, and discuss contemporary meaning right this second, right now, critical and aesthetic issues within the photographic medium. All right. Now that's different than talking about the art history of photography. Okay. Now we are going to get into some of the history of photography, but not like, I'm not going to quiz you over daguerreotypes or something. This is really about looking at contemporary photography through the lens of having a phone, through the lens of having, Instagram, through the lens of having all those things, and thinking about what does photography mean today. There's a bunch of program outcomes. You can read those if you really want to bore yourself. Some policies about some things that you need to do, attendance, all that stuff. It's an online class, Participate, basically. Things about plagiarism, things about yada, 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 makeup work. Yeah, you get it. You can read through this. All right, the stuff that you guys care about. What's your grade based on? You have 5 projects. They're worth 15% of your grade each, total 75%. Participation, 10%. That means do the Flipgrids, participate in discussions, participate in critiques, all those things. And 1 final project, which is worth 15% of your grade. So it's the same as the other projects. The final project varies from semester to semester. Last semester, the final project was sort of accumulating photographs and writing like a really brief essay about them and publishing them in a book. We all published a book together. All right, grading scale, nothing new there. It's all the same as probably every other class you've taken. And then some project dates, some due dates. These are all worked out ahead of time. If we need to delay something, we will. No big deal. Project 1, the photograph as conversation. That's September 8th. Project 2, the photograph as construct. That's September 24th. Project 3, the photograph as process. October 15th. That's our first analog film project right there. The photograph as experimentation, November 5th. And the photograph as body, December 3rd. Then you have a final December 17th, okay? Again, this class is asynchronous online. I do not expect you to physically come to the classroom on class days unless things dramatically change and we live in some magical world where the coronavirus disappears and everybody's able to fly back to America and yada, yada, yada. I don't think that's going to happen. So for now, I'm just planning on it being online. Again, I'm happy to engage with you, and I will try to engage with you as much as I possibly can. All right, so read through this. If you really want to, again, it's a syllabus. They're all pretty much the same. I covered the important points. I'm going to jump back into here and go through the next things. So we have this content section on Blackboard, and content is really where the majority of the class content lives. And every class period, you're going to have a folder. It's a little folder like this that says Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, etc., and the date on it. Now, sometimes 2 classes will be lumped together, particularly more studio-driven weeks that are about taking photographs. It might say Class 1 and 2, or Class 2 and 3, right? And it's just lumped together. But for now, this is Class 1. It has all your content for the class period, including presentations, videos, assignments, all that good stuff. And each class day, a new folder is going to appear, okay? So check. On Thursday this week, Class 2 will appear. Tuesday next week, Class 3 will appear, and so on and so forth. All right, so we go ahead and click the title here where it says Class 1, and that opens up the folder. And within this, we have, this is where the video will be, another video will be here. And then we have Flipgrid, our discussion tool, and then we have our tasks and some other things that I want you to look through. Anything that has a due date, I list here. Everything else, you should be examining that day, okay? I expect you to go through this stuff the day that I assign it. No excuses, that's that, all right? You have this class time blocked off. Come to virtual class and go through all this material. I really don't give out that much material. A lot of the class is driven by you going and taking photographs, right? It's a doing class more than like a talking class. So yeah, spend some time with this. All right, you have a link on the side also called projects. Projects is where your assignments will live. There's nothing in there right now. The first project will be Thursday. Thursday of this week, the first project will be listed here. That's the one that's due September 4th. Again, these are projects, the ones that in the syllabus I went through. These are projects. Okay. So the descriptions and the submission links will be there. Then I have a thing called course links. If you click this, This will show you some really, really, really important stuff. And this is kind of the most important part of this video, right? So really focus in. We have a couple different links here. The first is this Flipgrid code. I'm going to get to that in just a second. I'm going to go through these four first because they're pretty much the same thing. Each of these are reservation calendar links. If you click this, it takes you to a calendar that you can reserve space in for particular classrooms or for office hours, aka meeting with me. So let's say we need to reserve the darkroom lab. All right, the darkroom lab requires 2 people for safety. You have to have a buddy with you. It has a max of 3 people in the space. Now, an advanced photo student, Jake Edwards, is happy to volunteer. If you cannot find a buddy, send him an email. I think he's available every day except for Friday and Saturday. And he works and stuff, so be respectful of that, but he's happy to come in and help out, okay? So max of 3 people, but requires 2 people. Lighting studio, 1 photographer, 1 subject. Scanning and mounting lab, 1 person. And I'm going to go through all these. There's a video of me walking through the campus that you'll see Thursday where I'll walk you through this. All right, so you click on this and it opens up a page called You Can Book Me. All right, and You Can Book Me is a great service where you can actually reserve times and see times that work and that don't work. So I can say, okay, let's pick this time. You pick it. And it says, all right, 9 a.m. on Tuesday, I want to reserve this. You put in your first name, last name, and your email, and how long you need it for, and it'll reserve it. If a time doesn't work, it'll be blacked out. For example, if I open up this office hours, this is my personal office hours for meetings with me. You can see, okay, I can't meet at 4:45, but I can meet at 5 p.m. You click it and you book it. All right, so simply put, we're going to be using this, all these different links. These live in this course link section. You got to reserve spaces before you come in. Most of these rooms only hold 1 person in them. They're tiny, okay? It's not safe for you to be here with a bunch of people. Don't bring friends. Be safe. Yeah, you get it. All right, the last link and the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video, I know this is a long one. I promise you I will not have long videos like this again, is this Flipgrid code. All right, it says flipgrid.com, and it has this little code at the end. Flipgrid. Everyone is going to join Flipgrid today, all right? Meaning Tuesday, you are going to join Flipgrid. You click this link, it opens up Flipgrid. It's going to ask you to join with Google or join with Microsoft. You are going to click join with Google, and it's going to sign you in. I'm just going to sign in with my account. It's going to sign you in with your smail, your at smail.astate.edu address, okay? Use that, and you should sign in just fine. It's going to open up our photography page. We got a topic here. There's a discussion topic. Introductions. Here's the topic. What's your name? What's your major? What you take the class? What do you hope to learn this semester? You need to answer those 4 questions. You click record a response. You'll see other people's responses down here. So here's my response. All right, if you click this, you can watch it. This looks great on a phone. This works really well on a phone. I would highly recommend you do this on your phone. All right, I know I just said that like 3 times, but get the app on your phone. It's called Flipgrid. Install it, and then just join this one. It's the code for it is Buckley2627. Join that, and you're good to go. All right, so right now there's just 1 topic here. We will have multiple topics as the semester goes on. You're going to have a topic, at least 1 topic every single class period, if not more. Critiques are done this way. You can click on these videos. I'm not going to play this video now. I'll pause it. But it's really cool. It captions the video automatically. You can like it. You can comment on it. You can also record a response. I really recommend recording a response rather than text comments because it creates a dialogue, a conversation. I'm going to annoy the hell out of you the first few weeks of class because I'm going to be recording responses to everything that you say. All right? If you post something, I will record a response to it. And I expect you to try to do the same thing. Okay? So try to record responses. Let's create a great community of people that can, really talk to each other and really communicate and feel like, this is like a little group of artists, basically. It's a little group of photographers shooting film together, going out and doing cool stuff. Let's make sure we actually communicate and don't just disappear, right? It's very easy in online classes to kind of fade away into the background. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to annoy you and record responses and ask you to comment and ask you to talk and ask you to do things, all right? So get used to it. Okay, so that takes us to the end of this first video. It's a long video. This is the longest that you'll probably have. That goes over Blackboard and all that good stuff. Grades are going to be on Blackboard. You know how those work. Yeah, we'll talk more about grades next class whenever I introduce the first project. But for this class, go to the content section. All right, click on our class. and you got 2 tasks. You have a task called Introductions, which is join Flipgrid, record a video. All right, you got to do that by Thursday. Do it today. Just do it Tuesday. All right, but it's due Thursday before class. Then you got another task called Shoot, Shoot, Shoot. You're going to take 10 photographs with your phone's camera, or if you already have a DSLR or a mirrorless or another camera you want to use, you can use that. Play with the settings, explore the options, find what looks best. Do not edit the photos or crop them, okay? Don't crop in or anything. Just try to shoot the photos as best as you can the first time. Take a variety of images, wide shots of landscapes, buildings, interiors, exteriors, people, pets, objects, whatever you want to do, and then have the photos ready for next class, where I will show you how we're going to share them, and we're going to do an exercise with those 10 photos. All right, long video. Get ready for the next one about materials. It's great to see you all. I'm super, super excited to have an awesome class, and I will see you guys on Flipgrid soon.